I'm sure he gonna put on a great show and try to put on a great performance. But like I said, I'm the biggest. He ain't catching me with no damn fishing pole. I'm flipping his whole boat. I'm sinking him. He better come with a submarine, the USR, China, everything. Because like I said, man, I'm the biggest shark. I'm Moby Dick. I'm the king. Ain't nobody stop me. It's strap season, man down. Make sure y'all tune in. Y'all going to see another great show and another performance.
I did catch that. You saying man down on the 29th?
Man down, strap. Man, y'all know the motto. Man down, strap season. Line them up. All that, man. Big fish. The biggest.
Fish fillet.
Hey, man. Hey.
Fish fillet.
Smoking on bud.
There you have it. It is July 29th. It is the
put him in the dirt.
most anticipated fight of the year, really of this decade. It is Errol Spence Jr., Terence Bud Crawford. Guys, let's get a face-off. Let's put the belts. Let's get us a face-off. And get.
All right, let's talk. Okay. I'm excited. Basically, you know that I was getting from Errol Spence's speech. Buy the motherfucking fight. You know? However, he knows, you know, he's aware, but it was so bad at one point in time that fans was like openly revolting, saying like, we're going to stream that shit. Like, what is he saying? We're not buying none of these fights.
Turn my mic. And we got to know where, I mean, we getting 3% to these organizations. I mean, we got to know where this money going to. I mean, a lot of times they getting, man, you got Canelo and Josh and all these guys, you know, making $50 million, and these belts getting 3% of that. Where's it going to? How's it helping the fighters out? What are they doing with it?
Word. For real. That's what I'm talking about, man. We need more calling out these fucking belts. See? Oh, my bad. Let's go full screen, my bad. But no, we don't know what the pay-per-view price is going to be yet. We should know sometime in the next couple of weeks or so, since the fight is 45 days away. Both fighters are expected to be having individual city media days.
Yes,
Ooh, they touching each other. Ooh. Yes, Al Heyman don't like that. You don't touch his fighters.
Yes, sir. It's work time.
It's beware
work time, y'all.
One time. Oh, they're trying to get it going. Oh, one time.
It's work time, y'all.
Oh, work time.
It's work time.
But, you know, as I was saying earlier in the video, my issues with Errol Spence are the things that he has going on outside of the ring, or he had going on outside of the ring. I would have picked him 3 years ago, but now, and I was actually surprised to find out he's actually the underdog.
It's work time, y'all. It's work time.
But I think we're all on the same page when we say we're going to be having seafood during fight week, right? I'm frying something. And I definitely got to have some crawfish. Crawfish. There you go. With some corn and some little sausages.
And there they are,
Potatoes.
the welterweight champions of the world, Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. July 29th cannot.
Let's see if they sit down with Brian Campbell and start talking. What are they talking about? We can't hear them. We can't hear them, no. But yeah, we're going to go back and watch some highlights of the press conference, especially their exchange about smoking bud marijuana. And Terence Crawford told Errol Spence he was going to gut him from the butt to the neck. Like, you know, he said the little butt. Like, let's go watch some clips. This was these guys. This was kind of funny. This was kind of funny. But yeah, you know, here's the thing about this. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford resume is because of Errol Spence and PBC. Errol Spence's resume is because of PBC. You see what I'm saying? Bud Crawford was frozen out. And it's because, network politics, but they knew Al Heyman's plan worked. PBC's plan worked. Errol Spence's plan worked. Bud is on the other side of the street. The fight is happening. But the fighters that were available to Terence Crawford, it's like, why have him fight Terence Crawford and build his name up? We can have him fight our guy and build his name up. You see what I'm saying? So, also, a lot of people are wondering why Errol Spence talks like that. When he was in his accident, when he flipped out of his Ferrari, he busted up his mouth. So a good portion of his mouth is rumored to be dentures.
Engage me for Errol. I knew this time would be here.
Hold on.
In boxing, period.
Here we go.
And show everybody why I am the number one guy in boxing. Yeah, he gonna come and fight, but I'm gonna break his will. I want to break him mentally, physically, and just show people why I am a great fighter. Despite what I've been to, the adversities and things like that, I always kept on the same path, and to be the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. That's been a lifelong dream of mine. It's been something I've been wanting for a long time, something I've been clamoring over. And regardless of any situation, I always stayed the course and knew that this fight was going to happen and that I will become victorious.
Errol, let me follow up on that. Because listening to Bud, he says, listen, you may talk about his resume, but he's been undisputed before. So this is nothing new to him.
So they're about to go into the debate of the resume and his undisputed against Julius Ndongo. Now, I understand, if you know how the politics got here, El, you're right. From what I got from it, he never wanted to go to PBC, Terence Crawford. He never wanted to go, which is why he re-upped with Top Rank. But that cost him because, I think we all know how PBC works. He wasn't going to get the fight unless he was with PBC. That wasn't going to work with Top Rank for a fight like this, especially since the fight was not big enough for a co-promotion between PBC and Top Rank. Let's face it, both of these guys are good on paper. On regular TV and Showtime. Errol Spence has the clear edge over Bud Crawford, but he's selling about 250,000. Not necessarily something that would move a needle for a guy with Bud, who all of his pay-per-views pretty much flopped. I'm talking about like crazy bad flopped. But Terence Crawford, somebody correct me, he was getting somewhere between $4 to $5 million guaranteed. Not no 1.5 million, and then if the pay-per-view does a certain number, you get back in money. He was getting guaranteed money from fighting on regular ESPN. But on ESPN side, they wasn't pushing for the Spence fight either. And that's why he was suing Bob Bear, part of the suit. But at the end of the day, I knew in my gut, and I talked about it years ago, that this fight was not going to happen unless it was over on PBC. And then eventually Terence Crawford would run out of welterweights because PBC had them all to fight to where it would make no sense. Think about it. If he would have still been with Top Rank, who would he have been fighting? He would have had to move to 154, and then he would have ran into Jamel Charlo problems, also a PBC fighter. So I understand they kept trying to get him the best possible fights over at Top Rank, but it was only but so much they can do, which is the reason why Spence is the clear A side, because he had access to the bigger fights.
Therefore, he's coming in, already been there at the pinnacle. This is new to you. Your response to that?
I mean, that's cool, but I'm not the guy he fought to become undisputed. I'm not that guy. I feel like that guy was not that good. Regis stopped him in the first round too. Regis stopped him in the first round too, man. Like, who that guy beat to be a two-time world champion?
He beat two champions.
Who?
He beat Troy Arnowski, and he beat Ricky Burns, which was a three-time world champion.
Troy who? Come on now, man. Come on, bro.
And I think he went to Russia and beat him. And I think he went to Scotland and beat him. Then
Come on, man.
he tried to be great and come to Omaha and beat me. I don't think you fought nobody that was a two-time
When
world
he ever
champion.
been tested, he got stopped.
I don't think you ever fought a champion that was two-weight divisions, right?
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
All the titles I took from the champion. So what you saying?
Okay.
Every title I took, Sean Porter,
He was
champion.
He was a
Took it
one-time one-weight champion.
It don't matter. I'm taking it. I'm
Okay.
taking it.
Well, you got the opportunity.
Like I said,
to
you
take
line
this
them up, I'm gonna knock them down every time. It don't matter what happens, personal life, whatever. Hey man, give me him. You sure you want him? Yeah, this is easy work. Get him out of there.
This ain't no easy work.
Hey, you want
over
him?
here.
Yeah. Oh, I know it's not easy work. I definitely know it's not easy work.
Okay.
I definitely know that.
Just making sure.
I ain't that naive.
All right.
I'm realistic.
Both subtly
I
telling the
love
audience.
this
I
because
respect
one of the things you made when we were in LA, but you said, hey, look, this guy is so-called the big fish, but I'm gutting him on July 29th. Talk to us about that.
Now listen to this dark shit. And what we're going to do is we're going to listen to this. And this was pretty much the highlight, this section here, the highlight of the press conference. Then we're going to go listen to Bud and Spence, who are talking with Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell of the Morning Combat team, and talk a little bit about the fight, because this is going to be their last media event until they both do their individual media workouts. Bud will likely do his in Oklahoma, and Spence always does his down in Texas. And then the first episode of All Access is going to be on July the 8th. The second episode, July the 15th. July the 29th is the fight. Then they're going to be an epilogue of All Access the week after the fight on the Showtime viewing, or before or after the Showtime, when Showtime airs the card.
Well,
Yeah, when he started talking about gutting him, and I was like, damn. He said he was gonna chop his head off. I'm gonna let him say it.
I like to go fishing. Everybody know those are my hobbies.
Man, that's cat. He's not catching me with no fishing pole,
Hey, listen.
man. I'm the biggest. You
Listen.
can't catch me with no fishing pole.
Listen.
What it look like catching Moby Dick with a fucking fishing pole, man? Get
hey.
the fuck out of here, bro.
They all been caught before.
Man, not with no fishing pole.
Every last one of them. And
Not
July
with no fishing
29th,
pole.
he gonna be caught too. I got a big enough hook for him, and I'm already reeling them in.
Y'all don't
July
even sound
29th,
good. Your ass better have a submarine.
I'm gonna put him on the bank. I'm gonna put him on the bank. I'm gonna gut him, and I'm gonna fillet him.
Man, you
like
better
I
have a
said.
submarine.
All right, we gonna catch him. Well, matter of fact, we already caught him. We just reeling him in right now. And July 29th, that's when we're gonna get him to the bank. We'll probably weigh him, put him on a scale.
You ain't got a scale big enough.
Chop his head off, cut him from, the gut, the little butt up. Take the little vice grips, pull the skin off, take the little knife.
It don't even sound good.
Let me ask you
It's
this,
good.
Bud. Let me ask you
Y'all
this,
like
Bud.
fish? How many of y'all like fish?
I love fish.
I bet your pops like fish too. You like fish,
My
don't
pops
you,
does like
pops?
fish.
Come on, you can say you like fish. You know what I mean? Your son the big fish, so he love fish too, So we gon' we gonna give his pops a piece of fish too.
We Jamaican, man. We smoke bud. You already know how that go. It's legal in Vegas too, so we gonna smoke your ass up.
Hey, y'all do.
It's legal in Vegas too, so we gonna smoke. We gonna roll you up and smoke you up too, man. Y'all get that new bud strand, man.
Hey, but you know the crazy part about it is, y'all do smoke bud in Jamaica. I forgot. But this ain't
new bud strain.
This ain't no bud. This ain't no kind bud. You feel me? This ain't the bud that you just can buy on the streets.
I don't want that.
It's that marinated bud that you hit one puff, you might be seeing stars like how high.
Nope. That's K2.
Just know.
Man,
Terence, let me ask you this.
Whack. We don't do that.
You're victorious on the 29th. You will be
We don't smoke whack.
the first
Talking about
first male to be undisputed in two different weight divisions.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
Well, it's going to mean everything to me July 29th. And I can guarantee you, July 29th, you're going to see a Terence Crawford that you have never seen before. Everybody.
Hold on, let me stop right there. That doesn't really say anything after that on the press conference, but I want to go listen to Spence and Crawford, who are sitting with the Morning Combat team here, talking after the press conference.
What was that
With
motion?
the belt.
No, I don't think I'm in his head. I just think that it's been a long time coming. I've been calling for the fight. I've been asking for the fight. For whatever reason, it didn't happen, but he took the bait, and now July 29th, we got the fight, and I'm gonna get him to the bank.
All right, Errol. I've covered you a long time. I'll never forget ahead of your victory over Sean Porter, you said, "Look, I'm faster than you. I'm all these things, but that doesn't even matter because when it comes down to it, I've got more dog than you, and I know it." That night, you proved it. You got your hand raised. Do you believe you have more dog than this man who's never been stopped, never been beaten? That's possible here, July 29th?
Oh, definitely. I feel like I'm the apex. You know, I feel like he definitely going to come to fight. He definitely going to, you know, try to put on... He going to put on a great performance, but, you know, I feel like I'm just a better fighter overall. You know, I feel like I'm going to break him. You know, he said he going to reel me in and bring me to the bank. So we definitely going to see. I don't think he can reel me in. I don't think nobody got a big enough fishing pole to reel me in.
Terence, have you seen his the merchandise he's put out with the smoking on butt with the big shark on it?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
What do you think of it? You like
It's
it?
funny.
It's funny.
It's funny. You know what I mean? Shout out to the creativity people that he got behind him.
I had to come back because he had the the Aquaman with the shark.
Bellagio?
Yeah, with the shark. So I told my people, man, yeah, we got to come back with something fast. So.
It was pretty funny, I'll admit. All right, Errol, let me ask you. You've seen his career. Everyone's seen his career. I'm going to ask him the same question in just a second, but start with you. What would you say is his best win? What's his best win?
I mean, I feel like all his fights was great.
No, answer the question.
I've been a fan of Terence Crawford. I'm a fan of boxing too, so I watch everybody. Like people even ask me, "You've been studying him? You've been watching him?" Like I've been watching him. You know, I'm a guy who, you know, sit on the toilet and, you know, just, and watch boxing.
It's a lot of information.
Yeah. You know, I'm a guy who, you know, sit and watch boxing or just chilling. I'm watching boxing and I'm just watching different people. That's why I was like, I never had to really watch film on Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, because I watched all their fights all the time. So I was already familiar with them and what they do. So, you know, I feel like most of all his fights was great fights, and you know, he showed a lot of, like, even with like Gamboa and all them, he showed a lot of determination, because you see it when a fighter get hurt, you know, you see how they react, you know, and he reacted in a crazy way. So, you know, I don't see any fault in that, because, you know, you get fighters who get hurt and they get timid, you know, they always jump, you know, they keep they're more scared and not active as they used to be. But with him, you know, he gets meaner when he get hurt.
Terence, same question. What's his best win?
Well, I think
for this moment, this fight, in some cases, this opponent, all your career, all your life. When was that starting point, though? Because this...
I want to find that what he said. It just skipped for some reason when Bud
Rivalry goes back.
No way. So
at the pinnacle of boxing,
4 or 5 years. I mean,
he showed a lot of determination, because you see.
Look, their broadcast is going to skip through right there. That wasn't on my end. That's on theirs. Look, watch this.
If when a fighter get hurt, you know, you see how they react, you know, and he reacted in a crazy way. So, you know, I don't see any fault in that, because, you know, you get fighters who get hurt and they get timid, you know, they always jump, you know, they keep they're more scared and not active as they used to be. But with him, you know, he gets meaner when he get hurt.
Terence, same question. What's his best win?
Well, I think
for this moment, this fight, in some cases, this opponent.
What the hell was that? What was that?
X amount of reasons, but everything happened for a reason. We here now, and me and Errol, we on the biggest stage that neither one of us been on before. And July 29th, we're going to put on a tremendous show and show the world why we the two best fighters in the division.
Indeed, indeed. One thing I've loved, Errol, is the call back to history, calling this an old school fight, comparing this to Leonard versus Hearns, and there were so many of those 70s, 80s, 90s fighters are our heroes because they put on courageous, incredible main events. Are you both subtly telling the audience here that we're skilled enough that we can put on a chess match for 12 rounds, But no, we're both going after it like it's 1981 right now, like it's, old school is new school once again. I feel like this is just guaranteed fireworks. Are you expecting the exact same thing?
Definitely. Terence got a mean streak. I got a mean streak, and I feel like that's what the 80s and the early 90s. That's what it was about. It was about the best fighting the best, and they put on great shows and they performed very well, and nobody wanted to wilt to each other. So they was just, they was going to war. They was fighting. It was literally a war. Where you had Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearn, you had Hagler, you had Duran, and the best wanted to fight the best, and the best wanted to beat the best, and they didn't just want a decision or
They're just saying the same shit over and over again.
Punish their opponent. So I feel like this is what people have here. And a lot of times, they want to see you, mean mug and look mean and be angry, but boxing's not like that. Boxing's not, not really like that. That's more of doing it, for the fans.
Sure.
Like me, my best performance, especially in sparring, somebody I'm cool with, because I'm not trying to get beat up by somebody that I know or somebody that I might talk to. I'm trying to really put a hurting on him. So I feel like this is going to be an action-packed fight. I'm trying to put on the best performance of my career. I know he's going to try to put on the best performance of his career. And everybody going to want to tune into this fight, especially the older people who talk about, oh, man, I remember when this guy fought or when Ray Leonard and all them fought and how great them fights was and Evander Holyfield and all these. They're going to want to tune in and watch this fight because this is going to be an old-school fight.
I mean, Terence, do you have that same feeling that it wouldn't be just enough to be in this duel where at the end the fans go, I'm not sure who won? You're coming in there with the mentality, I'm going to break him.
Yeah, of course. That's always the motto. If you been taking notes and watching Errol Spence Jr. Whole career, he always bringing it. He always stepping on the gas pedal. He always making it for an exciting fight. And you always seeing when somebody push, I'm right there.
Sure.
And that makes for an exciting fight. You got Errol Spence trying to break me. You got me trying to break him. And like he said, somebody going to break, and it ain't going to be me. So that makes for a great, exciting fight.
I think the box office might break, too, by the way.
It certainly might. Last question very quickly, Errol. He is one of the best at making adjustments through the course of a fight, particularly late. How do you deal with a fighter who is so good at making adjustments and changing round over round?
You just got to stay focused. I feel like that's what makes the great fighters great. I feel like that's what even make the great athletes great because they keep their focus 24/7. They never lose focus. And once you lose that split focus, you can get caught or, something can happen. So for me, it's just about staying focused, being in dog shape like I'm always in. Of course, he always come in shape. He has great, late rounds. And I always have great late rounds, too. So this is one of those fights where, it could easily be, a 15-round fight because I feel like in the later rounds, especially when we get comfortable with each other, I think, it's going to be an all-out, basically war and a war of nutrition.
Amazing. 45 more days. We can't wait to see you guys in Las Vegas, July 29th. Thank you for joining us.
So one thing we learned is both fighters do have a lot of respect for each other. We can say that. They have been talking on the phone. If you haven't heard, they've mentioned it multiple times about how they've, talked on the phone, and even Steven Espinoza, the president of Showtime, had mentioned how they were really at that impasse or at that wall, that stoppage, to where they had to talk to get it done. And one thing that you do find interesting is that if you watch the press conference, you hear Errol Spence, even though it was a little long-winded, but about how they feel they have to prove to the suits or the people in charge of why this fight, had to get made. Did y'all kind of catch that at the end of the press conference? Now, my personal opinion, and it's kind of taboo to talk about, but I think that Spence wanted this fight more than PBC. It seems like Showtime wanted it, but I don't know, man. I don't think that PBC really wanted this fight. But Spence, he said multiple times that he actually was willing to sit out and sat out to get the fight over the line, and even him and Terence Crawford talking about fighting. So I don't think that he's scared of Terence Crawford. He's one of the this is why I've always liked Errol Spence as a fighter, even though his outside of the ring issues affect his personal life. They don't affect like who he is as a person, because certain fighters you can kind of look at and be like, yo, I don't trust anything that they say. But he don't get that. You don't get those vibes from him. You see what I'm saying? Is that kind of following me? You know, basically he seems like a high integrity type of fighter. You know, where it's like, all right, if he say he's gonna fight somebody, he's gonna do something, he's gonna do it. Especially when he stuck to his guns about not fighting Keith Thurman. He may fight Keith Thurman later on down the line, maybe one day. I don't think so, you know, depending, because he may be on his way to 154, but he wasn't going to fight Keith Thurman before he fought Terence Crawford. You see what I'm saying? So, shout out to him, but I just do feel that Terence Crawford is the more confident of the two fighters. It just comes across that it's an aura that he has surrounding him that makes you think like, yo, this dude ain't no joke. Like, you know, he gonna go in there and do some business. Now, the beauty of this fight is they're both in their prime, despite Errol Spence's issues. And I've said before, and I'll play this again. I'll play this clip again. This is what has me so concerned about Errol Spence. The type of activities and the damage and the wear and tear that his body has taken, not necessarily in the ring from fighters, but outside of the ring. You know, that's why I'm like, I'm picking Bud Crawford. Remember this? Remember this? And people try to say it was a TikTok skit. Wrong.
I'm tired. So yeah, it's just been so hard. I take full responsibility. I mean, he was cheating on me, so I did run that nigga over with my car, but we would appreciate. Would you want to go to Dubai, baby? Do you want to go to Dubai, baby?
Do it?
So when there's a fighter that is engaging in those type of activities for whatever reason, you know, flipped his Ferrari, suspected intoxication on videos. We don't know if he's drunk or not, but let's just say the videos that you see, he be looking drunk. A car accident, his girlfriend, allegedly, mother of his kids, I think, allegedly hitting him with a car. A lot of things outside the ring that have made me think like, yo, you know, I'm not sure. Like, if you would have asked me 3 years ago, I know I keep saying the same shit over and over again. If you would have asked me 3 years ago, I would have been like, I got Errol Spence. But now, after everything he's been through, I got Terence Crawford. Also, remember, he had his face broken. Not only his eye broken, not his eye broken, what was it? A retinal tear or something? But also, he did say he had the same surgery as Kell Brook. But when he got flipped from that vehicle, remember, he had his teeth knocked out and shit. You know, face broken, all puffy. So those type of injuries can affect when you get punched in the face. Nonetheless, I'm glad that it's happening. You see what I'm saying? It's a two-way rematch clause. The loser, I think, has 30 days, I believe, to invoke their rematch clause. And yes, I do agree with you, Dice, when you say it's a huge. See, Terence Crawford is not a PBC fighter. He is this two-fight PBC deal. There's probably an option in there somewhere, but he's not a PBC fighter. He's not a homegrown. Al Heyman guy. So if Terence Crawford beats Errol Spence and leaves with those belts, whoever he signs with, like, bro, like, those belts are highly valuable. Now, both fighters have openly said that they're going to be moving to 154 after they fight each other. They don't plan on defending against Boots Ennis, you know, or whoever's going to be at 147 at the same time. They're pretty much gone. But right now, I don't know. It's a huge storyline around this fight, a huge storyline. And you can expect for this pay-per-view, it's going to be 85. I think it's going to be 84.99. I'll be shocked if I see 74.99 or 79.99. We looked at the ticket sales earlier. Right now, as it stands on July the 14th, it's going to cost you $600 just to get into the building. The highest ticket right now in the arena is $20,000, and a good portion of them are gone. You can expect for it to be a sellout. Undercard is going to feature Isaac Cruz versus Giovanni Cabrera. It's going to be an earlier start time again which they should keep up with. The pay-per-view starting at 8 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. So basically, just like Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, the pay-per-view is going to be over relatively early. That's awesome. It's not going to be a long night thing. We're still waiting for 2 fights to be announced for the undercard. Once again, All Access is going to be first episode July the 8th, second episode July the 15th. The third episode is going to be the epilogue, which is the week after the fight when Showtime plays the replay. It'll likely be before the replay or after the replay. I'm predicting that this pay-per-view, no matter what the price is going to be, is going to do at least 500,000 pay-per-view buys. A number that's circulating in my head is somewhere between 600 to 650 to 700. But you can tell that Errol Spence, was pleading with the fans. We're going to play that to wrap up the video. Like basically saying like, hey, listen, y'all need to buy the fight, and support, like the fans. I mean, support the fighters, because he was telling a story about how a fan came up to him who had purchased one of his shirts from online, from his online store, and basically was complaining to him nigga shit, complaining to him about how like high the shirt was. So he like, yo, but you'll go buy some shit from Louis Vuitton for $800, $900, and they won't even talk to you. But I'm talking to you and giving you like time, and I'm a celebrity, multimillionaire celebrity, and you coming up to me and talking shit, like, as But I'll let him explain it.
You got the opportunity.
Like I said, you line them up. I'm gonna
Terence Crawford. If you
hold on, my bad. What was it at? Miss it.
He's going to bring
July 29th.
Where's it at?
My shirt was hot.
Here it is.
You're going to have to try. I guarantee you that. But like I say, man, y'all got to come out and support this fight. Either come to the fight or order.
Also, I'll cuss you out. Listen, I'll tell y'all. Like, listen, I understand some fights be some bullshit, but the fact that we've been waiting for this fight and they're still in their prime and undefeated, no matter how we got here, this is a fight that does deserve our money, especially the support of all of the hardcore fans. I understand they're trying to appeal to the casuals, but like, we need to support this fight for real.
The fight, man. We gotta support these fighters out here. I'm gonna tell y'all stories out of LA Fitness, and I was running, and then the guy had stopped me. He was like, "Man, I bought your high ass shirts," and and he was just talking about how my shirts was high, and I was talking to him. We was just chopping it up, and I was like, "That's crazy. You complain about my shirt, but I'm sure if you go out, you go somewhere nice, you'll buy a Louis Vuitton shirt for $800, $1,000, and you never complain." And that same guy who owned Louis Vuitton and own these high-end fashion places wouldn't even give you the time of day or even talk to you like I'm talking to you. You know what I'm saying, right now. So, I mean, I'm just asking everybody to show some support and show people and show, the business boxing people and, everybody that, that it is a reward in taking risks. Just like how we go to these basketball games, football games, and pay $20,000 to sit front row and get these seats, and nobody's complaining. Support these fighters, man, because this is how they earn their living. They literally putting their life on the line to give y'all a great show. They literally losing brain cells and could lose their life for y'all. So support us, please. Come out to the fight, watch the fight. Everybody talk about this fight. These are two great fighters fighting each other. We bringing it back. This has been a great year for boxing. And for me, this is the best fight in boxing, especially style-wise. So let's just everybody tune in.
And here's what he had to say about the organizations, the sanctioning bodies, when it comes to the belts.
Turn my mic back on. Turn my mic back. And we got to know where, we getting 3% to these organizations. We got to know where this money going to. A lot of times they getting, you got Canelo and Josh and all these guys, making $50 million, and these belts getting 3% of that. Where's it going to? How's it helping the fighters out? What are they doing with it?
And that's a legitimate question. It's like, yeah, like where does money really be going to these sanctioning bodies? Like, what do they do? You know? Like, and I understand where Spence is coming from because now you got all these belts on the line. You know, it's expensive to be undisputed. You know, even Devin Haney had talked about it. It's expensive. You know, because all them sanctioning bodies, they want their cut. Especially the bigger the fight is, they get a bigger percentage. Like, it's weird. You know? It's weird. You know, like fucking sanctioning bodies. But yeah, man, July the 29th from the T-Mobile Arena. I'm going to be here on Fight Night, so I haven't been, my channel has been demonetized. I did a video on Pizzagate years ago, a video on Ghislaine Maxwell. YouTube didn't like it and made me start all the way over. So we're streaming on my TstreeT Uncut channel, which for those who are watching the live stream that this is clipped from, that's where we are now. And then I take the clips out and my post-fight content and put it onto the main channel, TstreeT Controversy. So, still working through things, but we're going to be streaming 6 days a week. We're going to be here tomorrow for Tim Tszyu, Carlos Ocampo press conference. And that's the marquee fight of the weekend, along with the Caroline Dubois, Frazier Clark card. There's another card this weekend, Regis Prograis versus Danilo. I forgot the guy's name. On the zone. So it's going to be a pretty busy weekend here. We're going to be working full time. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, and all the links to my social media and handles are down below in the description box.